Did you know that voice training can help your speaking voice as well as your singing voice? It is not just for singers, although of course it helps your singing and it helps your expression and your creativity. But if you are a public speaker or you're wanting to create content, create videos, or if you're wanting to land an acting role, it applies to all of those aspects of life as well, because it's all connected to the voice, the throat chakra, and the same principles and techniques apply. So just for example, today I had a session with one of my students who is acting in a role in a play. She's not singing, she's acting. And she wanted to have a voice embodiment session so that she could get deeply connected with the character, and that the way that she is actually landing her communication is really powerful. It's really sensual, it's embodied, it's authentic, and the audience, the listeners, actually can feel her. They feel her connection to the character like she's living that reality. And so what was happening at the very beginning of our session together is that she was having all kinds of thoughts. And how many of you can relate with this? Have you ever been, on a stage, or you're about to share something and your mind is just chattering about, oh no, what if this goes wrong? Or having performance anxiety, or, oh, I didn't do this right, or that. The inner critic, right? That inner critic voice. And the real deal is that that voice is going to come up. That voice is going to be there, but it's about our relationship to that voice and not letting it take us out of our embodied, authentic expression, and not letting it take us out of our joy. Because the truth is, we as performers, performing is meant to be authentic. So we get to experience it and enjoy it ourselves, what we are sharing, what we're creating. And so if we're stuck in our heads thinking about, oh, I hope that so-and-so thinks I did a good job, or, then it's taking us out of our joy and out of the present moment. And that's really where the magic happens, is in the presence. And you've probably seen amazing performances that were captivating and enthralling, and where you were totally in the flow with that performance, right? You've had that experience. So what was it about that made it so magical and captivating? Well, likely the person expressing was deeply connected in the moment. They were in a flow state. And so how can we create a flow state for ourselves when, let's say, you're wanting to get on video and make some content, or you're wanting to speak on a stage and really share a powerful message? How do we get into flow state to do those things? Well, the good news is that there are practices that specifically create the conditions for flow state to occur. We can create those conditions to occur. And it happens when we are connected in our mind, body, spirit, all connected together. It's a holistic, somatic, embodied part of our expression that we can create. And that's where it gets really exciting. That's where it gets joyful and fun, is because we're doing practices. I'll just break it down for you right now. So when we're talking about the holistic, integrative approach to voice training, let's start with the physical aspect of it. So of course, we have a physical voice. Nobody can argue with this. And even if you don't have a literal voice, like there's an injury to your vocal folds, for example, you still do have an energetic voice. You have a way of expressing yourself. So we all have a voice. And for the physical voice, for singing and speaking, what we're working on is healthy resonance. We're working on the tone, the inflection, the color, the way that you're saying something, because we all know the saying, it's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. So it's the energy behind the words, and the energy, and this brings us to the second part of it, which is energy. So we have physical voice and we have energetic voice. But it's the energy which actually guides the tone, the color, the inflection, all the musical qualities. It's those qualities when you hear a singer or a speaker that just move your heart. And that's because they're connected to the energy behind their voice, and then their physical voice is opened up to allow that energy to come out. So different people have different challenges with this, because some people have an ability to connect with the energy. Let's say they're feeling it. They feel the energy, the emotion, what they want to emote and share. They feel it, but it gets stuck. It's like caught in their body and it's not coming out the way that they want. How many of you have experienced that? You know, there are speakers that really feel so deeply connected to their message, but then when they get up to speak, it's like freeze response, or their voice gets kind of like squeezed, or their breath isn't flowing. So that's actually a disconnect between the energy and the physical voice. And that's where voice training really can help. It does help, because what we're doing is training your physical body. We're actually training your nervous system, to be honest, but we're training your nervous system and your physical body to calm, and then all of the anatomy that needs to be active and optimally aligned, we will allow the voice to come through when that optimal alignment is there for us. So that's the voice training practice, is teaching your body that optimal alignment, so that when you get in front of people to speak and those nerves come in or that chattery voice comes in, your body doesn't respond to that and you know exactly how to deliver that message. So that's the physical part. That's the energetic part of the voice. The opposite side of challenges that some other types of people experience is actually they are physically aligned and the tone of their voice is great. We've all heard a perfect technique or a singer that's singing it beautifully, but for some reason it does not land for you. It's not powerful. It's not speaking to you. Well, probably what's happening is that they have a great physical technique, but they're not connected to the energy. And it's always about the way that you're saying something, not what you're saying necessarily. It's the energy behind it. So how do we help people connect with the energy? Well, voice training also helps with that. It's teaching you how to deeply connect with that. So for example, the way that I really love to work with my students is to show them a embodied approach to singing technique that uses the subtle body energy centers, the chakras, as a method to connect in with the energy. That's just one method. And there are other ways though. If chakras don't resonate for certain students, then we'll use a different way. We'll use different emotions. We'll use different sensations, colors. Every mind-body system has its own way of connecting with the energy and the expression that wants to come through you. So we always work with where the student is and what works for them. Not every tool works for every student. That's a good voice teacher is going to know that. So then finally, in this integrative approach to voice training, we have a final way. So we had the physical voice, the energetic voice, and now I'm going to talk about the spiritual aspect of the voice. Spiritual, yes, spiritual. And even if you're not spiritual, you don't consider yourself spiritual, it's okay. It's still you can think of it as like your higher consciousness or connection to something greater than yourself. This is not dogmatic. This is not a religious thing. It's really just your own personal way of connecting in with what is that creative inspiration that is flowing through you? What is that for you? What's your languaging around that? And how do we harness that and help you find it energetically? Again, I'm using the word energetically a lot because it's your way of connecting in with that and expressing that in the world. And that is your unique magic. That's like your fingerprint or your vocal print, we can say, into the world, where you're sharing your message, you're sharing your truth, and you're landing with people in a way that no one else can. So here's the thing. There are so many great singers out there, and there are so many great speakers out there, and that's a good thing. We want a lot of great singers and speakers. There are great voice teachers out there. That's amazing. And I want more great speakers and singers out there because we all get to shine. There's plenty of space for everybody to shine. And the reason for that is because when we're connecting authentically to our message. We do not need to sound like anyone else to be successful. The world needs your unique voice and your unique message and your unique way of sharing it. No one else can do it the way that you can. So people are meant, there are listeners out there that are meant to hear your message. Even if you're saying the same thing that another teacher has said, they need to hear it from you through your lens. So don't ever let somebody say, oh, the market's saturated, there are, too many singers, you don't need to be singing, or oh, too many speakers, because they don't have you yet, right? So enjoy finding your expression. And this is something final piece here, but I love about the embodied voice tools is that they help you find that for yourself. We're not trying to have you mimic other people. I mean, we can be inspired by other people and use some of the things we like, but this is about you connecting with you. So that's the space that we hold. And for myself as a facilitator of this work, that's always my deep intention, is to hold a safe space and a container for the student to find that connection for themselves so that they feel seen, they feel heard. And the tools, they are there to guide that process. So I hope that this gives you an idea about all the different parts that are available with voice training practice. And most of the great leaders and influencers in the world have had voice training and actively have a voice coach on their team, because the voice is such an important instrument for our mission in the world. I mean, if you're a lawyer, if you're a speaker, if you're a teacher, if you're an artist, you need to have this ability to connect in with your voice and share it in the way that you intend it. It is necessary. So I definitely invite you, if you have not received voice training before or you don't think it's for you, to explore it, because it really can open up a lot of things. There's a lot of science. Also, I could go on a whole different topic about this, so I'll keep it short for today, but there is a lot of science around the power of voice training and how it actually is healing and therapeutic for the body, healing for the nervous system. We all like that. Homeostasis, reducing stress, reducing cortisol, that's all good. But also it's great for your brain. It is so powerful as a way to train the language centers in your brain, the auditory centers of your brain, a lot of cerebellum and prefrontal cortex activation. There's a lot of the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere interacting. There's a lot of connections that happen with voice training. So that's why it's, there's a lot of science that shows it helps reduce dementia and all kinds of things. So that's a tangent, but the point here is that voice training is good for you, and I highly recommend that you explore that, whether that's with me or with another teacher, that you have it as a part of your life, because it is a source of joy. It's fun as well, and it's deeply healing. So I hope this message meets you well today. I hope that it encourages you to sing, even if you're not a singer, that you have this amazing instrument within you. Something is there for you to discover, whether you are a complete beginner or a professional in your field. There is something here for you, because it's about self-discovery and self-realization. So I hope you enjoy your voice practice. And if you have any questions, if you're looking for tools and resources to help you along the way, then reach out to me, send me a message, comment below. I would love to hear from you. I have so many different kinds of training videos available. I have free training videos, and I have a 7-day voice awakening warm-up series that's great. So if that's something that you would love to receive, just send me a message, let me know, and I'll send that to you. I can also send you details about some lovely classes that I'm teaching. Those are live classes where you can get together with other people and actually experience a guided practice, a practice with other people. It's a really powerful space. So if you're feeling the call, the nudge to be opening your voice in community with other people and actually get guidance on this, from a technical grounded space. So we're using systematic vocal technique, but also the embodiment and the energy. And we want a technique that weaves those together. Then the embodied voice classes would be a perfect fit for you. And I would love to have you. So you can just reach out and let me know if you'd like more information about that. And I'll send you all the details that you'd like. But either way, I would love to be a resource for you in your vocal journey, and I wish you all the best. All right, bye for now.